Hi there. In today's tutorial, we'll go over how exactly this particular light effect is achieved in DaVinci Resolve. It might be called something like Saber effect in After Effects, and a lot of people were curious about how this is achieved in DaVinci Resolve. So I'll go over the exact techniques to achieve this effect. Also, another iconic scene in the projection mapping scene is this particular effect by Matt's channel. A lot of people have wondered how this is achieved. I'll also be going over how this particular effect can be created for your house as well. And most importantly, I'll be sharing my complete project for this Carol of the Bells show. And using this, you can download my DaVinci Resolve project and customize this show for your house in less than 5 minutes. So trust me, this doesn't get easier than this. It'll literally take you less than 5 minutes to get this complete show for your house. Okay, so stay tuned. But before we jump to the show, let me go over the core concepts about this effect so that in case you wanted to tweak something or achieve that other effect that we spoke of, you know how to achieve that. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Okay, as you can see, this is my project, but before we go into the project, let me show you the basic concepts about how this light effect is achieved. So first and foremost, I'm going to drag my map file, okay, and just for reference, I'll just make it a little longer. Let's just assume this is a 10-second map file, okay. Now, to achieve any sort of advanced effects, we have to go to the Fusion page. Generally, I stay away from Fusion page for basic concepts, but when we need to do something more advanced, we have to jump to the Fusion page. So here we go. I'm in the Fusion page right now. As you can see, the output is exactly the map file. Okay, some basics about the Fusion page. You can see these two views right here. The other one's empty. I can just click this node and turn on this left little white dot. That means whatever's the output of this node will be displayed here, and media out is the final output, and that you can see that the right white dot is highlighted. So that's what you're going to see here. Sometimes the layout may change, but you can configure the layout to pretty much anything you want. Okay, I don't want to get into extreme detail in the essence of time, but this is the gist of it. And with regards to nodes, the core concept is basically everything just flows from left to right. The output of this node is connected to the media out, so basically nothing's changed and we get the exact output as is. But now we're going to update that. So first and foremost, I'll show you how to achieve the basic Saber effect or basic light effect exactly where you want. Okay, so for that, let's clear this out. So what I'm going to do is get a mask, and for mask, I'm going to use this polygon mask. I don't want a curved mask because I want the lights to be sharp. So I'm going to just get this polygon right here. Just dump it anywhere. Make sure that the house is still visible, because when you want to draw the polygon, you want to have some sort of reference. So the moment this polygon is dropped, you can see that the cursor is drawable. So what I'm going to do is basically just add some clicks. Okay, so I'll just keep going. Of course, you would make these shapes exactly to your preference, covering the shape of the house, the windows, anything that you wish. Okay, so let's just say for the sake of the tutorial, I'll just leave it as is. So basically what we have done is we've defined the shape of the light that we want. Okay, now to get the colors, what we are going to do is get a background from right here. That's it. And then apply this mask to the background. Let me show you exactly what that does. So we got this background. Just to give you a reference of what this background looks like, I'm gonna switch the background on into the view. Basically, it's nothing but a black background. As you can see, here's the color. So I'm gonna just make it green, for example, so you can see it better. Now what we are going to do is this polygon where we had drawn the shape, I'm just going to connect that to the blue output. You don't even have to know exactly where to connect, just hover over it, it will connect exactly. Okay, that's literally it. So as of now, we have just the shape on a green background, and for now I'm going to remove this media out and connect this output to the media out so that our final output is whatever we've made right here. Okay, now to tweak things a little bit, we go back to the polygon. Here it says solid, uncheck that. Okay, and then where it says border width, I would say increase that a little bit. Okay, as you can see, there's this green line that's slightly thicker. You know what, just to make it clear, I'll change it to something like magenta. Here we go. And let me make this a little more thicker. Oh, this looks more like a light bar. Okay, now let me jump back to the main screen, and you can see pretty much the shape that we drew, we have that. So it's fairly quick, right? But the one disadvantage here is it doesn't really look like light. It still just looks like purple color. To give it a little bit of a light effect, we're going to add something called soft glow. So most of the basic effects are located right here, but to access all the effects, you want to press Shift Space and you'll get this menu with pretty much all the nodes available. In here, all you want to do is type soft glow. There you go, and press enter. As you can see, we got this node. Of course, we can connect it individually like this. There we go. As you can see, there's a hint of glow added to it, and now it feels like actual light instead of color. For example, if I turn this effect off, You can see the difference, right? And of course, you can play with some of the settings in terms of how you want the light to be. Okay, so there are some of these settings that you can play with. So basically, all you do is make the polygon in the shape of the light bar that you want. The background determines the color of the light. Again, you have multiple options here. Instead of solid color, if you want some sort of gradient color for colors, or if you want to have a picture here, anything. Okay, it is basically the polygon that masks the shape and the background that determines the color. That's it. And the soft glow gives it a light effect. So now we'll get into how to achieve this effect. Okay, this is a pretty popular effect. For the most important aspect here is this red and white lines, the spinny stuff. This is available on YouTube. You just need to download the YouTube video. That is the core video. Okay, so let me jump right to DaVinci again. Let me go back to the edit page. Here we go. There are a couple of versions of this particular video available on YouTube, and I'll link to the video as well in the description so you can find it. So you have to download this particular video, okay? So we don't need it as is. So what I'm going to do here is jump back to the Fusion page. Let me turn on my media pool. I have this red and white video. Again, we don't need soft glow right now. Here we go. As I turned on, this is our video. I'm going to apply the same polygon shape, and that's it. I'm going to use this in the media out. That's basically it. So instead of the basic background, I've replaced it with this. Okay, as you can see, you've achieved the effect. Okay, and you can add the soft glow back in. It won't matter. So there you go. So before we jump to another effect, let me go over a quick animation tutorial as well. So let me get rid of this video for a second. Go back to our background. Again, let me just make it magenta or purple like we had. Give me a second. There we go. So this is the light effect that we have right now, correct? So now you wanna, let's say, animate this light effect. All that can be controlled via this polygon control. Position and length are the two key controls. For example, if you change the length, it's quite obvious that the length of the purple bar reduces, and the direction is dependent on how you drew the particular polygon. Okay, because I drew it from left to right in this way, that's how the length is going to be determined. Okay, so this controls the length, and for position, as you can see, without making the light bar longer, you can keep moving it. Okay, those are the two key controls that will come in handy. Now to animate this, the general tip is you can keep everything to 0 so nothing shows. Make sure your cursor is at frame 0 in here, and just add keyframes to both, and then all the way at the very end, based on the length of the clip, you can see frame numbers here. Just go all out and keyframes will be added automatically. So basically what it will look like is you'll see that the light bar is not only growing, it's also moving in position. Of course, you can switch this effect based on your particular design, but that's the gist of it. Okay, so that's how you achieve animation. Now let's make things even more easier. I'm just going to get rid of all this. Let's go back to my house map. So this is my map, right? As you can see, there's a lot of lines, and I used to do it manually. Like you want to add lines here, every window, the garage, the store, these pillars. There's a lot of lines to go through, and it has to be done with precision for the effect to look good. But an easier technique is to use edge detect. So here again, I'm going to press shift space, click edge detect. Okay, I'm going to add this in here. I'll show the output of edge detect. As you can see, this is what the output of the edge detect looks like. Now we want to make sure we add some color to it. So here again, shift space, color corrector. That's the one I want. And I'm just going to drag and drop here. Okay, for now, let me just connect this to the out. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Okay, so now let's add some color so that we have some reference. So here I'm just gonna, let's say, keep it magenta, going in with our older example. Okay, so now this is magenta color. Here I need to tweak edge detect a little bit for this effect to work right. Here you want to tweak this edge settings a little bit until it looks right. And now this might depend on exactly how your map file is, things like that. So you might have to tweak with this a little bit, but not too much. As you can see, it's pretty quick. Like that's it, right? It basically took less than 2 minutes. All I did was add 2 nodes, and you have this magenta colored light bars everywhere. I didn't have to draw each of these lines precisely or straight. All of this is taken care automatically. Of course, it's harder to animate this, but when you get my Carol of the Bell show, you can see how I animated that. Okay, again, like the previous example, we'll add soft glow. Again, shift face and then soft glow. And another technique to add this node in between a path is basically press shift. As you drag it, you'll see like the arrows change color. Once you see that, just drop it. Oops, there we go. That's it. So it connects it pretty much automatically. Okay, that's basically it, guys. So again, you can control the intensity and stuff for based on edge detect and soft glow. And if you have a map based on Luxido or something where it's a picture, it would be a little more tricky. You might get more detail, but you have to further fine tune the edge detect node settings. So that's it. Now let's jump into how exactly you can have my show created in less than 5 minutes. Okay. So now in order to get the free show for your house, what you do is open up DaVinci Resolve. Of course, download my project and save it to your folder. It should be a DRA file. And now when you open DaVinci Resolve right here, right click anywhere, click Restore Project Archive, Carol of the Bells DRA. I'm just gonna click it and open it. Here, since I already have Carol of the Bells, it's asking for the name. So I'm just gonna say YouTube tutorial, I guess, and just hit OK. You should get the complete project with all the settings and stuff exact as it is in my project. Okay, so here we go. That's the project, YouTube tutorial Carol of the Bells. I'm just going to double click it to open it, and now you have the complete project. As you can see, basically the light effect that you saw, I have done multiple versions of those and then added transitions and different masking on top of it to get the show. And of course, those are kind of synced with music, placed accordingly, so that it looks nicer. Okay, so now you want to update this for your particular house, correct? A quick little note, my project currently is set up for my projector, which is 1920 by 1080, right? That is most standard projectors, but in case your projector resolution is slightly different, you need to use an additional step, right? In order to do that, I'll show you that extra step. Again, these particular steps are not required if your projector is 1920 by 1080. I'm showing you this only for those who have a different projector, okay? So all you need to do is right-click, Timelines, Create New Timeline. I'm going to use a simple map from the side of my house, I guess, which is an Epson. Okay, I'll just call it house side, okay? Here, the most important thing is don't use project settings, because project settings is of course 1920 by 1080. So under format, you can input the resolution of your particular house, okay? So in my case, it's 1024 by 768, okay? And it is important that you make sure to do no resizing here. That's pretty much it that you need. And here, just hit create. So basically, we've created a new timeline, which is completely blank. And this is for the new projector resolution, okay? So all I'm going to do is come here, click Command A or Control A based on your computer, then Command C or Control C to copy everything, then come to the timeline that you intend and then paste it. So basically I pasted the entire thing. Of course, this resolution is smaller and that's why the map is overflowing, and that's completely fine. The effects are all in here, but now we want to customize to your particular house. Again, for people who have the projector 1920 by 1080, you don't need to do anything. You'll be right here just from the get-go. The only thing that you need to do is, this is my map file, right? Just right click it. Here it says clip operations, replace selected clip. Okay, side mask, right? That's literally it. As you can see, the side map now fits in the exact shape because the map is 1024 by 768, and all of the effects are in here too. Of course, you can replace it with any map of the appropriate size. You will get all of the effects. And since I've used edge detect, you don't have to do a single thing. Based on whatever your map is, the entire show will be customized automatically. So all you had to do is right click, clip operations, replace, and put in your map. That's literally it, and then export it and you're all done. In less than 5 minutes, you have this entire Carol of the Bells show, okay? Of course, you're welcome to make any tweaks as you need, because now you know how the effect works. Okay, so let me know for any questions and stay tuned for future tutorials. Thank you.